All right, here we go. Here's a financial affidavit. So we would fill one of these out periodically with the court. The other side's going to have to fill one out as well. They're designed to provide a snapshot to the court of your cash flow. They're also very, very handy for preparing marital settlement agreements because everything is laid out very nicely in terms of category. That gives us a really good 30,000-foot view over the parties' finances, their assets, the debts, et cetera, things like that. When you prepare these, understand, I want you to fill out as much as you can, but you're going to bring them into the office, and one of the girls is going to go over the particulars with you. We, as a general matter, don't like having clients fill these out and just submit them without sitting down with you and kind of going over them. So that's an important caveat with that. But we want you to fill in as much information as you can when you do have that opportunity, because it's going to make it a lot easier for us to get going here. Let's just go over the basic forms. You could either print this out or you can actually do it directly on screen. A lot of these are going to be pre-judgment. You want to select that. That means before the case, before any divorce or family case. This is post-judgment. This means essentially after a judgment, an initial judgment has been entered, say a modification. You want to select one of those. It's not critical, but it's helpful. The county, you want to fill that out. This should be a drop down, as you see. Put the county in, put the petitioner, the defendant or the respondent. This is as it was originally filed. So just look at your former pleadings to fill that information in. Put your case number in. Again, it's very helpful. Indicate in here if you're the petitioner or respondent, corresponding with up here. The date you're completing this, that is to say the date, not that it's filed, but the date that you're actually filling this out. Go ahead and put that in. Here's an important but often overlooked component of this, is that financial affidavit is one part of it. You're supposed to, they're also supposed to include supporting documentation such as pay stubs, income tax returns, say for the last year, bank statements. Don't go overkill, at most a year. And it would be from whatever account is your principal source of pay. And then other documents that you might have that would be important. Fill out information about yourself, date of birth, phone number, address. When you come here, indicate if you're employed, unemployed. This is one that trips people up. You need to figure out your pay cycle. Is it every 2 weeks or is it 2 times a month? Because that impacts the formula which is used to calculate your monthly income. Your gross income from the employer. So look on your pay stub and look at the year through. If you're self-employed, you want to complete as much of this information as you know. Your monthly gross income. Here's a key that I think binds a lot of people up. Don't overthink this financial affidavit. There's kind of a Goldilocks in there that we want you to try to hit for. We don't need it down to the last penny, but we want to sketch as accurately as we can what your cash flow is, what your income sources are, et cetera. So use your best judgment. A lot of times what I'll tell people is more information is better than less. So if you have a number and you don't really know where it's going to fit, fill it in one and then put an asterisk next to that. And you can always attach another sheet to this and explain. Say, for instance, on the attached page, hey, back on page 3 of 11, item number 5, I put down $5,000 on regular employment income. Here's what this actually is. And you could put that additional information in there. But what you're doing here is you're flagging it by indicating with an asterisk. So that's, I would rather have you take the moment and explain that than just kind of guess and not really put it in there accurately. All this is going to come from your pay stubs. Here, if you're paying maintenance or you're receiving maintenance, this is where you're going to make indication of that. Child support, this is where you're going to be filling out this information if you're getting it from some other source, etc. Your living expenses. Here's kind of a key. I want you to understand that this is where this is not really an exact thing. You're using, again, your best judgment. If you fill a financial affidavit out in December, it is going to look different than you might fill out in July. Why? Because gifts. You're buying gifts for people. So you're going to have more expenses associated with that in December than you would, say, in July. So what the rule of thumb is to do the best you can to figure out what it would be for the entirety of the year and then divide that by 12. And that is a perfectly acceptable number. Again, don't overthink all these. Just use your best judgment. And understand you will have, say, for instance, laundry and dry cleaning. If you dry clean even once or twice a year, put something in there, even if it's just a small amount. If you grocery and household supplies and toiletries, a trip to Walmart is always more expensive than people think. And something else that I think you need to keep in mind here is that when they add all these up, the numbers may not actually make sense as against your income. Don't worry so much about that. Again, because this is not designed to be exact. It's designed to provide a sketch for the court in your best judgment. I want to put an important caveat on there. Any good divorce attorney or family law attorney is going to be able to poke holes in even the best financial affidavits. I could submit one, and they're going to have something to cross-examine on. Don't get bent out of shape over that. Just use your best judgment to just make sure that you're getting the information down in good faith. That's really what you're trying to go for. You need to be thoughtful in filling these out. Try to make sure that you're really scrubbing the cabinet, so to speak, in terms of looking for all the places where you might have accounts, etc., including online accounts, Apple accounts, if you have Apple Wallet, if you have Venmo, if you have something else, or PayPal where you have money in there, you want to include those in there as well. It doesn't have to be down to the penny. Just, again, use your best judgment. Your vehicles. If you do this right, it's going to take you a minute to fill it out. If you do it right the first time, however, if you have to do it again later, 6 months down the road, it will be really just updating. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel with that. You can just provide updates on some of that information. This is fair market value. And so that means basically a Kelley Blue Book on the item. Let's see, lawsuits, a lot of, whether it applies or not, income tax refunds or returns. Again, use your best judgment as to, you are going to have to go get that. And I say, use your best judgment. Some of this is, information that the other side might have. If that is the case, we have a separate video where we're going to show you how you can access your tax information. And so that's important to include all that other information on there from that you can obtain from that source. Let's see. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say in terms of the financial affidavit. So thank you.